Okay, tonight I'm going to build some really simple shelves in the garage. Between my mower, pressure washer, my 5 or 6 projects I've got going on, the toolbox, the TV, and other stuff, I'm just out of space. So I need some shelves in the garage, and here's what they're going to look like. The shelves are going to go right here against this wall. They're going to be 8 feet high, 7 feet wide. The bottom shelf's going to be 18 inches above the floor, which is plenty high to fit that container underneath. The next shelf will be 24 inches above that, and then another one 24 inches above that. So here's what you need to do this. You need 4 2x6s, 7 2x4s. You need a box of 2.5-inch screws. You need a carpenter's triangle, a drill with a screwdriver type bit in it. And by the way, when you buy a box of screws like this, you normally get a screwdriver bit in it to fit the screw. Okay, let's cut the side supports. Now, since the shelves are going to be 20 inches deep, I need supports that are 20 inches long. So I can cut 4 of those out of one 2x4. So I'm going to make a mark at 20, 40, 60, and 80 inches. Alright, let's cut the first set of supports out. Okay, let's cut out the supports. So let me say first, if you're going to do this and you've never operated a compound miter saw like this before, let somebody show you how to do it, get some help, and also wear your safety glasses. Also, when you're finished sawing your wood, unplug your saw so that a child or somebody else who doesn't know how to use it doesn't come along and turn it on and hurt themselves. So always unplug it when you're not using it. Okay, last night while I was cutting the wood, the power went out. We lost power for about 20 minutes, so I had to stop for the night. So I'm back the next morning, and I've gone ahead and finished cutting out the side supports. So I'm going to space out the 2x6s and put the side supports on. I've already marked lines everywhere on these that one of the supports goes, so I know how to line them up. Okay, I got all the boards laid out, ready to nail together for one side of the shelf. So notice you got to make sure the 2 bottoms and the tops are even. So what I do is usually take a board, lay it across the bottom, and just measure it by eye to make sure everything looks good. All right, so let's screw all these in place. Okay, so I got the second set of supports cut out, and I got all the boards laid out. I'm ready to put the second side of the shelf together. So here's the thing I do. When I'm making something like a shelf or a bookcase or something, well, I don't make bookcases, but if I make something where both sides have to be identical, I'll lay them out side by side to make sure everything lines up. So as you can see, all my boards are in the same spot. Now, this board right here has a little bit of a bow in it, which I didn't see when I bought it. So it may appear that they don't line up perfect, but they're really, really close. And they don't have to be perfect, but they got to be as close as you can get them. So now I'm ready to screw the second side together. Okay, both these are all screwed together. I didn't video me putting this together because it's just the same as the first one. So I'm going to stand them up against the wall. Let's just see how they look. Look good, side by side. Okay, all the 2x4s are cut, the sides of the shelves are finished, so I went ahead and got 4 more 2x4s, so that'll change the price that I said at the beginning. So what I'll do is put a final price at the end of the video. I didn't video myself cutting the 2x4s because it would have been the same thing over and over. Okay, we're ready to put the shelves on. So we have the two sides laid out. We're going to put the shelving inside of it. So we got to make sure it's square. So what we're going to do is measure from corner to corner, from that bottom corner to this top corner, and then from that bottom corner to this top corner. And those two measurements should be the same. That's how we know it's square. Here, hold it in place. Over there. Right here. No, top, on the top. So I've got about 131. Now let's take it over there. All right, so it's really off. So I've got 128, which means this has to go that way. All right, let's do it again. All right, so I'm right at 129 3/4. All right, 129 3/4. All right, measure twice, cut once. Let's measure it one more time. 129. What is it? Is it right on the center? Yeah. 129 3/4. 129 3/4. Okay, so now it's time to put the center boards in, so let me show you something. So my shelves are 20 inches from front to back, so I want the 3 boards in each shelf, the 3 2x4s, equally spaced. So what I've done is I've cut a couple of blocks to put on both sides. These are exactly 4 3/4 inches. So put one there, and take your next shelf and set on there. And this shelf will be in the exact center. So after I screw this in place, then I'll move the little support boards up on top of this and put the last one in place. So the only thing to do here is to make sure that my boards are spaced correctly on top of the side supports. All right, that looks good, so let's screw them in and carry on. Okay, done. Okay, so the simple shelf is done, but I got one thing left to do. So I put an Easter egg for my wife in every one of my videos, and she always insists that she watches the videos to the end and likes them, and my kids do too, but you know how kids are. Anyhow, I'm going to put that to the test. I'm going to write a message to her on the shelf, and when I stand it up, it'll be on the back side, so the only way she'll ever see it is to watch the video. So what should I write? I'm going to write Mike and Angie. All right, right there. Of course it's upside down, but that's okay, at least it's there. All right, so I'm gonna get my son, now we're gonna stand it up. Okay, the shelf is finished. So last night when I started it, I said it would take 35-40 minutes. It actually took about 2 hours. We lost power last night, so I had to stop and start on it again today. And then I decided to put 3 2x4s for each shelf, so I had to go back to the hardware store and get 2x4s. So altogether, I've got about 2 hours invested. If I had not been videoing, I could have probably done it faster. So let me show you a couple of things to think about. This shelf is pretty heavy and you want to keep it tilted against the wall, so I put these small pieces of plywood under the edge, the front edge, and the reason for those is to make sure the whole thing stays tilted slightly back against the wall. Also, you can see that I've taken the scrap pieces from the 2x4s and use those to put in the corner of all 3 shelves to stiffen it. So somebody came by a few minutes ago, my neighbor next door came by and said, hey, will you build me one? And I said, well, I don't really have time to, but I did put her in touch with someone else to build one. But she said while she was here, how much is he going to charge me? I said, I don't know. I've got about $75 or $80, I think, invested in it. But if you hire a carpenter to do it, they're going to bill you for the materials plus their time. And their time includes time going to the hardware store to get materials and go back and forth. So probably if you're going to hire somebody to build something like this, you're going to end up paying them between $200 and $300, probably closer to $300 if I had to guess. So anyhow, it's done. It works good. It's exactly what I need. If you build something like this, do not top load it. I'm going to find some way to anchor this to the wall. I've got the plywood under the front edge, which is a 3/8 inch plywood, to keep it tilted backwards slightly. But I know eventually someone is going to come along and put something heavy on the top shelf, and I don't want it to get top heavy and fall over because this thing weighs about 200 pounds. So I'm going to find some way to anchor it to the wall. But look, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not a carpenter by any means, and I was able to do it. So if you want to do something like this, just take your time, have a nice written plan, and follow your plan and just think it out really good. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.